let's move on to lighter news now, and a news that will surprise, well, none of us. Disney's live-action remake of Snow White is officially one of the biggest flops in Hollywood history. A month after its March 19 debut, the film's box office has essentially flatlined, and the numbers are even uglier than early estimates predicted. On Thursday, they were so bad, it was likely that movie theaters were selling just 3 or 4 tickets to see the film in an entire day. Disney is now staring down a total loss of $145 million US. Kel, from an unlikable lead actress who thought it was wise to turn the red carpet into her personal soapbox, to the decision to get rid of the 7 dwarves because it's politically incorrect somehow. I mean, this was always destined for failure.
Always. You won't be surprised to hear I haven't seen it, because most people haven't seen it. Right?
It turns out that way.
What they don't understand, what people need to understand, is the great fairy tales told the way they were originally told, with all the same values, still work. We read them to our little grandchildren today. They're still fabulous stories. They still love them. I actually did a series of children's books in which I retold the children's fairy tales, classic fairy tales, in an Aussie setting. And I did one with Little Red Riding Hood. And the wolf became a dingo, you know, all the Aussie stuff.
That's great.
And
did she bring Vegemite to her grandmother?
Yes, she did. All that stuff. But at the end, I had a squatter rush in with a gun and he scored him a good hole in one. In other words, I had the dingo die. The publisher was horrified. You can't have the enemy die. That's not good for little children. Now, I changed it. I had the dingo collapse in fright because I wanted the book to be published. But publishers, movie makers are not understanding that Alfred Hitchcock used to say, they tell me I make frightening movies. The Grimm brothers' fairy tales are far worse.
I actually think they do know what they're doing, and I think that's why it's evangelism and not entertainment, because they're coming after the kids and they're trying to indoctrinate children, because if it was about entertainment, they'd be listening to the publishers, they'd be listening to the audience, they'd be listening to the box office reviews and the money, but the fact that they're not makes me go, it is pure evangelism and they're coming for the kids.
Well, I think when it's going to hurt their bottom line this badly, they are going to finally wake up. Amanda, I mean, I'm sure you're a feminist like I am. You have a small women's business group, but this is, I mean, this whole idea of this isn't about the prince saving the beautiful woman, this is about her own self-empowerment. Does that work when it comes to classic fairy tales?
Well, the thing is, if that's the story you want to tell, then write one. Write a story about that and have it about that. You can't take something that is traditional and completely change it and then hope that people are going to jump on board and enjoy it. Have an original idea. You can have both, and then you can choose which one you want to see. They absolutely destroyed it. It stood for nothing. It's confused. And then, like you said, on the red carpet, being very opinionated about things, people are like, oh, hang on a minute, this is a fairy tale. You know, we didn't expect this to be real. So the fact that they changed it that way, people just were turned off completely. Keep it as is, and then create a movie about the independent woman that tells the guy to go jump, right? And the right people will watch the right show.
And then the same result will happen. No one will
there is the perfect comparison, because a film called Wicked came out, was an absolute box office smash. Little girls absolutely adore it. It too was accused of being a bit woke or whatever. But the difference is, of course, that even though, you know, you've still got a really, really prominent black character who's the heroine, even though you are playing with a former classic but not just retelling it, and even though you've got a message that, hey, we don't need a handsome prince to come and rescue it, because it's an original work, because it is. It obviously goes for the entertainment first and the plot first and all else. You can do stuff, you could have a black Snow White and that would be totally fine. But the idea that you would just do that and then think, oh, this will get people talking and this is all we have to do.
They did more than that.
That's the lazy.
I think casting was a big issue with Snow White, and having the lead actress talking about Palestine and alienating Trump voters on her social media, to the point where executives had to stop her from talking so that they could promote the film. That's where a big part of the problem lay.